Hello and welcome. In this video I'm going to show you swatches, information and my opinions of these new cream eyeshadows from Clarins. There is 6 cream eyeshadows and then there is 3 kind of metallic shimmery eyeshadows. So we will go through of the claims and the swatches and my thoughts and everything. So if you want to see that, keep on watching. So I just got these eyeshadows a few days back and I've been testing these every day since because I've been so excited. I haven't used cream eyeshadows before. The reason is my hooded eyes. I always thought that cream eyeshadows are just lost game with my hooded eyes because of creasing, and I always thought that why would I want to waste time just to try these products which won't work with me anyhow. And then I did receive this eyeshadow palette, where it is somewhere. But then I did receive this eyeshadow palette, which I have been talking about so much lately. This is a cream, this is a powder palette. I sometimes don't know how to talk. Well, I'm a Finn, I'm not supposed to talk perfect English anyway. A funny fact, actually, one of you subscribers heard from my accent that I'm a Finn, so I think you will know if you're a Finn as well. I've been planning to do a video half Finnish and half English, because the language is the reason why I do this in English. The makeup words in Finnish are, to say at least interesting, they are long. For example, I just mentioned this eyeshadow primer. This is in Finnish silmämeikin pohjustusvoide. Yes, it's silmämeikin pohjustusvoide. So eyeshadow primer is quite a lot easier to say. So there is that video coming. I think it's going to be fun. But let's go back to the Clarins and eyeshadows. I received this and fell in love with this, and I was so confident about Clarins eyeshadows, which I hadn't used before. So I requested then that can I please try these cream ones, and they sent actually the whole range of these, which I'm very, very grateful. So I'm showing you all these 9 eyeshadows swatches. I did use 2 of those eyeshadows today, and I'm going to show you another look where I'm using different shades of these. Oh, I actually used 3 shadows today, and then I'm going to show you another look with at least 2 shades, probably 3 shades of the other ones. What they claim in with these, they are called, let me see, these are Ombre Velvet, Ombre Satin and Ombre Sparkle eyeshadows. There is a lot of pigments. They claim to be very wearable and also smoothing, kind of smoothing your skin. And I actually can say that they do smooth my skin a bit, and I have a little bit of eczema on this eye, and it's not so visible now that I have this eyeshadow on, but these are creasing a little bit today because I tested today makeup using this primer without setting it with powder, and I also used quite oily concealer, so that's not a good thing. But I have used these few days now without any creasing. I used actually this Essence primer and I set it with a little bit of powder, and then I used these cream products and I had no problems. I wore that makeup for I think 9 hours and it was still on, so no problems with creasing. But let's continue. There is 9 shades and there is 3 shades in all 3 finishes. I have swatches here. I show them at the same time as I'm explaining this to you. The first shade is number 1 white shadow, and this is the Velvet formula. It's actually a matte, maybe just a tiny bit of velvety finish, but they are mostly matte, at least to me. There is few shades, this one and the purple one, which are a bit more stiff and dry. As you can see, it didn't swatch that well, and also on the eyes that is a bit more stiff and a bit crumbly as well. So you just need to kind of know what you're doing, but still it's performing really well. So I haven't had any problems with the staying power or anything, and I think because it's so dry that it's better also if you want to kind of prime your face, your eyelid with that one, so you can do that if you want to. The next shade is number 2 Pink Paradise, and this is also that matte kind of velvet finish. They say that these are kind of gel eyeshadows, and especially this one really feels like gel, like a bit more moisture in it, and you can see in the swatch that it's a bit more wet kind of when first applied, but when you tap it on your skin it dries out really well. And then the third one is, this is number 6 Woman in Black, and oh boy, this is black. It's really matte and it's really black, and I have used it also as deepening my outer corner, and you really need the tiniest amount you can get because there's a lot of pigment and you easily get a very black look if you're not careful with this one. So those 3 were the matte versions, which are called Velvet in this range, and then there is these satin finishes. The first one of these satin shades is number 5 Green Mile, and this is gorgeous kind of emerald green shade. It's very unique. I don't have anything in my collection. It does remind me a little bit of the greenish shades in the Anastasia Subculture palette, so I think these would pair quite well together, and there is definitely that kind of satin finish in these shades, and as you can see, this formula is very creamy and very kind of crumbly. It's not dry, so it doesn't flake or anything, and I've noticed that if you want a very opaque color, you want to tap the shade, not to smear it or smudge it that much. You can smudge these on eyes and they blend very well, so there is no problems of blending. The next one of these shades is called number 3 Purple Rain, but as you can see, it's not so purple. It's more like burgundy brown. A little bit of purple is in, at least for me, and there is a little bit of golden kind of sheen in this one. It's not glitter, and this formula, as you can see from the swatch, which is not the best one, it's again a bit more dry, as was the white one. So these two, the white one and this one, are just a tiny bit different, but when you build this up, the look is beautiful, and I have that shade today on my eyes and I didn't have any problems with blending this, so even though it is just a slightly bit more drier, it still blends very beautifully. And then the last one is possibly my favorite. It's called 04 Baby Blue Eyes. I expected to have light blue, but this is very, very deep and rich, satiny, beautiful, gorgeous blue shade. This is definitely unique in my collection. I don't have this kind of rich blue ones anywhere in my collection, and this kind of blue is so difficult in powder eyeshadow. They are so difficult to blend, and instead, as you can see, this is also a bit tricky, but I can easily use this with this kind of tapping motion, and I'm going to soon show you a different look when I use this one, so you can see that it's still very wearable and usable. So these are all the cream products they now launched. I'm sorry, their look is not the best one, but I think you get the picture of these shades. Then they also launched 3 glitter shades. I think these are more like glitter, pressed glitter. They are not creamy products. They are really, really dry. The first one is called 102 Peach Girl. As you can see, there is lots of fallout and lots of crumbly texture. But watch this swatch. These are unbelievably beautiful, and that was one swipe, and I have tried to use this with dry brush. Of course, it's not so pigmented as in this with finger, but you can still get quite a lot of this kind of metallic shade with dry brush, and when you wet your brush, of course there is more, but naturally these are best with finger applied. The second shade is 101 Gold Diamond, and this is really, really rich gold, kind of brownish gold. This shade, it's not my favorite. I'm not into this kind of golden shade, but it's beautiful as it is. So I can imagine with warmer skin tones, this is beautiful shade, and it's very, very pigmented, as you can see. And again, the third one is my favorite. It's only because it's so rarely you can find great blue eyeshadows. There is a little bit of this kind of silvery sheen in this one, and it's just a gorgeous shade. It kind of takes my breath away when I swatch it. It's just so beautiful. And all of these have quite a lot of pigment which can be seen. I didn't get that in the video, but when I swiped away these with this kind of cleansing wipe, there was still a little bit of pigmentation in my hand after I removed all those glitters and everything. So that means that there is pigmentation also. So even though you keep these on your eyes the full day and that glitter might fall off after a few hours, I haven't tried these on very full pigmented yet, but still you will have that color payout left when you have used this, so you don't have to worry that your eyeshadow is going to look dull in the evening. So here were the swatches. These are very, very interesting, and the prices are, all of these are around 25 euro per each. As I mentioned, I have used these now 4 times around, and I've been really, really happy with these. Surprisingly so, considering the fact that I'm not so into cream eyeshadow. They are still strange to me, and every time when I use these, I do struggle, but not because of the eyeshadow, because of my cream eyeshadow skills are not that great. I can see, I'm sorry about my hair, it's quite, it has its own will. When the summer comes and it gets hot and warm, I don't know how well these kind of cream shadows will last on my eyes. But during now, with winter weather, there is no problems, quite the opposite. That's now that my skin is very dry, these have been so gentle on my eyes that my eyelids haven't been so irritated as they are with powder products, and that's something big for me actually, because my skin can be very irritated and red. If you have any comments, requests or anything, if you have tried these, please let me know how you like this. I'm very curious to know what you think about this, and if you have any video requests, leave those comments here or in Instagram or Twitter or on my webpage if you want. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I wish you have a great day and see you next time. Bye bye.